Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Steve McCoy, and you are listening to Session News. And today we have award-winning bass drum duo, LE. What's going on, guys?
All right, brother. How you feeling?
Pretty good. What is that I hear over there?
I know I can.
Everything is going okay. Let me turn the news down. That's a habit of mine. I'm a political news buff,
Are
so
you? That's
yeah,
everything. I mean, it's a lot going on in the world, and then you guys also have groove is therapy. Everything that's been on the news, I feel like I sometimes need to go and listen to music and shut things down. And I wonder if
and
this
that's
is the direction of your album.
Right.
exactly. This is an escape. It's therapeutic. The name. It's easy to grab the meaning out of the title of the album. Groove is
Yeah.
therapy. Groove is therapeutic. So yeah, that was definitely in the forefront of our minds to project a positive refuge for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what I mean, with you guys, I mean, there aren't necessarily so many duos, and I often think it's so sweet for me to see two or three or four or five people actually come together and create music together. And I love that. So, how did you guys come together for those who don't know?
I appreciate
Go ahead, Seats.
that, and I appreciate you saying that because I would like to see more than one person at a time. I miss the days of
Yeah.
big bands and things like that, and I come from big band. But even how we came together is myself and Alex have been touring on and off with different artists for the past 20 plus years. Um, and that initially is how we did come about, and then eventually ended up, we tend to be the first ones to sound check, and we always end up grooving, and eventually wanted to record those, those things, and so we got the ball rolling and actually started that process, and that's the result of this album. We recorded it in 4 hours, 9 songs.
Wow, really? In 4 hours? That
Yes, sir.
doesn't happen all the time.
Right,
Sometimes it
right,
takes 4 hours for one song
right. But
or long.
Exactly.
that I think that's when you let it flow. We didn't overprocess it because we didn't know what the finale would be. But thank God for imagination.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I always say that. I always say I feel like my imagination saved me, especially in a world where people are telling you where you should be, where you should go, how you're supposed to do things. There are no walls with imagination. So,
We should
That's
not
so true.
we shouldn't limit art at all, and trust your gut. Um, and I'm a documentary head, and it's a trip how I'm always capable of seeing uh, my favorite songs, how they came about, and most of them were mistakes. So we have to do trust ourselves and not over process the process, and be fair to art and creativity in that way,
yeah.
instead
And
of
you guys most certainly had a lot of experience. You worked with Mariah Carey, you worked with Patti Labelle. I believe you went on tour with Patti,
correct.
and even the late great Whitney Houston, Casey and JoJo. The list goes on and on. Deborah Cox. How was it working with all of those people that I mentioned? And do you have any unique stories that we don't know about working with those people?
Go ahead, Al.
Well, I know with working with Whitney, she was just a down to earth lady, super nice. We hear a bunch of negative stuff about her, but my time in working with her for a year and a half, she was just the nicest person. It's like even with Miss Patty, who we currently Eric Seats and I, who we currently work with. Um, these ladies, they just super nice, you know. They get it, you know. It's not like they're out of touch because you know they've been blessed with so much. They still understand, and they still just they roll out the red carpet, you know, as far as you know, working with them and everything. So Whitney was one, I guess, one unique thing story I got with her. I remember when we started the tour back in '99, and you know, after the first show, well, before the first show, you know, we rehearsed like a month, and then we went into production rehearsal for 3 days, and you know, that first show, that's when I realized, before the curtain was rising, I realized, oh my God, I'm with Whitney, and it's like everything just left me, and I panicked. But when it was time for the downbeat, everything came back to my remembrance. And I remember after the show, I was outside, and Whitney came, drove past, and she said, "We getting on the bus tomorrow, and we're gonna have a picnic. So I'm I have some water guns, and we just gonna have." And you have to understand the caravan of all these buses and all these semi, and we stopping at a rest area, you know, water guns and everything. And I just thought that's just that stayed with it resonated because I hear all these negative stuff about Whitney, and I'm like, nah, y'all. You know, if y'all gonna do a documentary, make sure y'all talk to me. You know, so I can exude her in a great light that she's always been. And Miss Patti is just, oh wow, I can't even stop talking about her.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just, yeah, she's been a friend. She's been I mean, someone to look up to, you know. And even I have to say, Cease, can I say this, man? You know, Miss Patti is so nice and so loving that she knows how to give tough love in such a unique way. And a couple of weeks ago, when we were on another platform doing an interview, and you know, I guess I wasn't, you know, appropriately representing us with my attire or whatever. So a few days later, I get a phone call. It's a missed call. And so, you know, I looked at the number. I said, okay, oh, voicemail. Hey, Alex, this is Patti. Give me a call. And so I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, so is this, she's never called me, you know? So, you know, I guess I was hesitant in calling back because I'm like thinking all negative stuff.
Right. Am I fired?
You're fired.
Uh-huh.
You know, but she called me and she just encouraged me, and she said, Alex, you guys are doing well. I just want you to represent every time you guys are in front of the cameras, every time you guys are in front of people. And it was just, and I felt after the phone call, I just took it as, wow, she really digs us. You know, she took time out of her busy day. Miss Patti is always doing something. And I'm like, how you got the time to call me? You know, little old Alex, you know what I mean? So, okay, that's my spiel.
I love that.
Please go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah.
We'll be here all night, bro. It's so many. I will say this overall. I've been fortunate to all of the artists accumulated have been a blessing and a very good experience and you know, no bad experience. So, you know, because there's so many stories. There's too many that come to mind, but nothing bad, nothing tragic, and that's a blessing to be able to say, because like he said, that's not always the case.
Amen.
That's just not the given ratio to the equation all the time, you know.
I love that. And Patti, Miss Patti, is one of my dream guests. So, Aaliyah, stop playing, girl. Call me. And Whitney is our Jersey queen. So I love the story about the water guns and like, come on, like that's so Jersey. You're not getting that from any of these divas. So I love that. How did the experience of touring and working with these different artists transcend into your music?
Hmm.
Go ahead, see.
What's so sweet is when you go through both of our resumes, if you will, the diversity accumulated. That's what I hear in us.
Yeah.
In us as a duo. I hear us we were fortunate enough to work with and to start playing when musical was very much so musical. And changes and intros and dynamics, all inclusive, were a part. So that made you a better musician, being able to play those kind of shows as opposed to a show that just has this one kind of tone the whole time.
Right.
And it's just a one volume the whole time. Those, you know what I mean? Those are fun too, but this makes you well-rounded. So that's what I hear as a result to myself and Alex. That's like I said, when we went into that lab, we didn't talk. We set the tempo and we just went, and then and then let the production happen after that. So that's my definition of that, or
Well,
my answer.
well, Mr. McCoy, you have to know when we started this project, when we went into the studio that day, as Eric said, yeah, it was. Come on, Alex, we just gonna push play and we just gonna play, and you have to understand it was drum and bass. So drum and bass is usually the foundation, but we didn't have a lead instrument. It was just let's just groove, and that's why I think it's appropriate that Eric entitled this album "Groove is Therapy" because that's what we did. And when we came out the studio that day, it was a skeleton. But the great producer that he is, he put all the elements together, and then I work with him with that. But for the most part, having a producer's mind, in addition of being a instrumentalist, a drummer, it just worked out. And even with me, sometimes listening to our album, I'm amazed because we just went in there. It was just drum and bass.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a lead direction, but he put the body on the skeleton. So that's how that worked out. And I think that worked out because, with him doing, 702, Where My Girls At, producing, writing that, Aaliyah, Rock the Boat,
Yeah.
that's how he thinks. He's a drummer, but he thinks he's writing every time he plays drum. Me, I just,
Right.
put the bass in and just play, but he's always thinking. So that's how this, really, came to fruition.
It sounds like a great myth and a great collaboration for sure. I got
Thank
a
you.
chance to watch you guys' videos, and I felt like I was even watching a movie a little bit. I don't know if it's just it was very cinematic at the same time, which I love. I think that's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, tell us about the video. How was the shooting the video?
I'm sorry.
How was it shooting the video?
It was fun. First of all, shout out to Deanna Weatherly, who shot and edited and produced. Shout out to Miss Patti Labelle for volunteering to be in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shout out
big
to
shout out.
Todd and Gina for the Chicks Restaurant availability. Shout out to Alpha Clothing.
Thank you. Yes.
Myself and Alex, and shout out to Jennifer Williams for keeping us tight. So it was a blessing in a very. I just randomly called a few people on the phone and asked them to come, and they showed up. We filled up the restaurant, and just they were just down. And so thank God for favors. Shout out to Corey Williams, who I met as a Uber driver one day. He was taking me somewhere to the airport, I believe. And we got on the subject of music, and then so randomly called him up that day. We went to the studio and had him come record vocals. So that was dope. But those kind of to just see this whole thing unfold, because everything wasn't so planned out, mapped out. This all
Not at
started
all.
it
Not at
started
all.
it started unfolding as we heard it. And now that we've been doing even more. And thank you for even having us on your platform. Things like this happening. You know what I mean?
Of course. Thank you, sir.
Appreciate
Thank
that.
you
Yes.
guys for being here. You guys been doing this for so long, and I think it's amazing that you guys are putting together a project, and as well, people, the big dogs. You guys have the big dogs supporting you guys, so I think that's so amazing as well.
And
Um,
we thank God for that favor. We thank
is
God for
there
that
any
favor.
pressure with the fact that you have so much support behind the scenes, as well as people who's been watching you guys for years? It's like you're almost like, I feel like I want to call you guys industry babies, like, because you kind of been around for a long time, and you gotten a chance to work with so many greats. So is there pressure?
Go ahead, Seats.
I'm gonna definitely say no pressure at all whatsoever. If anything, it's giving us the incentive to want to keep doing it, realizing that, man, it's because it's getting such a good feedback, and I appreciate the feedback more so from perfect strangers and overseas. That I don't want to say it means more, because all appreciation is appreciated, but it's great to see it reach that far across the waters and be written up. And shout out to Incognito and Mesa League and Germany and Switzerland and South Africa and UK for Rockin' Alley, and a bunch of other people here. But it's I don't want to leave anybody out, but it's such a blessing to see that. So that's giving us the gasoline that we need. We all need that little boost, and to give you enough incentives. Okay, we need to keep doing this. Yeah. We need to nurture this. And now we doing stuff we never thought we'd be doing. Right? It's just stuff is
Yeah.
I love that. And you guys
It's
are
a different. It's
branching out, and I love it. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just saying, as far as the pressure, with the phone call I told you that I got from Miss Patty,
Mm-hmm.
that just really it didn't put more pressure, but it just made me it encouraged me to say, wow, okay, because a lot of times you look at stuff that you doing, and do you think it's gonna, be marginalized, or are people gonna like it or whatever, but for her to say, hey Alex, I love those songs you singing your lead vocals on, and to hear her say, it's almost, yeah, because I haven't been in this position to be in the lead spot up front. Eric and I've always played bass in my comfort zone, but to be in this position, and then an icon, critiques you in such a way that it brings an awareness about you. Said, yeah, okay, Alex, Eric, y'all belong here, and that's how I guess I can best answer that, question about pressure. Is there pressure,
Now, will you guys be speaking of when I was saying branching off? Are you guys going to be selling merchandise? I see the T-shirts in the back.
You see that? You see that?
Yeah.
We are. And you can go to 33greens@gmail.com, and that's three, the word three, and then the number three, greens@gmail.com, and get your shirts there, and the mask are here too.
I love the mask.
Yeah.
Social distancing. We can social distancing and be safe and still work together.
I'll make sure and get you next Thursday evening. But yeah, those, we are doing that. And really, Glenn, we're booking. We have a few gigs coming up. I'll have more detail. We'll be posting things about that. But follow Ali. You can go to al-e.biz and pretty much get everything there. All of our social media outlets are there: Twitter, IG, and Facebook. And so we are branching out for sure into many other dynamics for sure. It's definitely, it has to be bigger than that record. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
It's a brand. We've created a brand.
Yeah.
Ali.
We plan to nurture it, man.
would you guys say this album is an introduction to you individually, like as an artist?
Go ahead, Cease.
It's another graduation.
I love that, a graduation.
Yeah, I feel like there's always room for growth in whatever it is that we do. And this is this is and I know Alex can testify. This is making us to think differently. It forces you to think business, brand, and hustle because nobody's promoting this like him and myself. And you know, but that comes with the territory. So it's another thing to believe in. It's good to be able to have a product to eventually create jobs or opportunities for other people too, other musicians, because we have a band already. You know what I mean? And just those different kind of things that it's not so much of looking for work all the time, but we can create the work as well. And so
Right.
that's key. You know.
Right.
And Mr. Stephen McCoy, you have to understand that even with us creating this album, we've moved forward and put an infrastructure to our album, in place. And what I mean by infrastructure, uh, everybody has a studio these days. You have laptops, you have the software to create. You can have the option to go to a big room to get I guess make the sound, the ambiance, sonically different. But you know, as far as exuding the album, promoting the album, you need that infrastructure. And what is that? That's a marketing team. That's publicists. That's a law firm. And I appreciate my brother, bringing those elements up. Hey, Alex, I think we should, go out, step out on faith, and put these other elements into place to really catapult this project, further in its destiny. And so, those are things that we put in place, and I think it's helped exponentially, with what's going on. I mean, we're on your platform, so and that's been a result in putting that infrastructure together.
That's amazing. Wow. You guys are definitely an inspiration and an inspiration to people musicians that are coming up, because a lot of people, I feel like they don't, well, maybe they do know that, as people who play instruments and write and sing, you actually put together a project. It can happen. You don't always have to be in the background. Not that there's nothing wrong with that. Just minding your business
That's
and
right.
your done. But with you guys making that transition and being to the forefront, it's like it gives that person that idea to say, maybe I could, So I think
Wow.
that's so great. And
Thank you.
and where can people find your album?
At al-e.biz. And pretty much on whatever your favorite digital outlet is, you can type in Groove is Therapy or Ali, ALE, and it's going to pop up. It's distributed digitally pretty much everywhere. And the social media, just pull up ACE CDO. So that's ACESIDIOOO. And that's all of our spaces.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much for coming on. And I can't.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. And you know what? I wish it wasn't a pandemic. I wish that we can actually go see you guys live. I know he said you guys have a few gigs coming up, so hopefully that involves a virtual concert of some sort, and we can actually order some tickets.
Okay.
But we'll be back to normal soon, and then we'll be having those regular gigs as well.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Mr. Stephen McCoy, sir. Thank you.
Subscribe now.